Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
It has been long overdue to expose the truth that the Democrats and Republicans are sucking the life out of America's liberty and usurping our rights at every turn. Now is the time to seize our civil liberties and take back our individual rights. Here on Southern Liberty, we will expose it all. With his musket on his back, the Declaration of Independence in one hand, and the Constitution in the other, here's your host, Roderick Threets.
Hey, welcome everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hopefully y'all having a great and wonderful weekend here on the good old US of A. or is it the good US of A? I don't know anymore. I mean, I'm going to keep it real with you. I can't even understand half of what the hell is going on right now for real. I really can't. Everybody thinks all this stuff is all now hunky-dory and, it's normal that, banks are crashing and, all that good stuff. And this is not normal. This is not normal. And then considering the executive order that Biden signed about basically seizing digital crypto assets, and come to find out a couple of these banks were deep into the crypto game. No wonder they imploded. No wonder they imploded. But that's going to be another talk for another time. I just find it to be quite interesting that Silicon Valley Bank, especially Silicon Valley Bank, right, deep in the crypto game, and the regulators came in and shut them down. Like, come on, man, for real. But anyway, hey, check this out. You know who's here with me this evening, good old Miss Kel. We're going to see what's going on in good old Kakalaki. What's going on, girl? What's up?
Not much. It's we had the St. Patrick's Day parade out on Hilton Head yesterday. So that went off without a hitch. Just it's that time of year here. St. Patrick's Day's coming up Friday, so everybody's gearing up for that, getting ready for the big party down in Savannah.
Is it already? Oh, my God. Yeah, I guess it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everybody's gearing up for the big party down in Savannah.
Hey.
I'm not that brave. I don't go down. There's usually between 800,000 and 1.5 million people for St. Patrick's Day, and for the parade alone, I don't want to mess with that kind of crowd.
Yeah, you're right about that. That crowd has never been like the calmest of crowds.
Oh, hell no. They're all drunk by 6 a.m. Are you kidding?
They wake up at 5:55 and they're drunk by 6. They're done.
They wake up a long time before that because they usually have the running of the squares at like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
And half of them are wasted by then.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was giving them waking up 5:55, miss everything else, and be drunk by 6. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
keep away from the river.
Oh, no joke. Well, that's why they've got such sturdy handrails and everything against the river on River Street.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Mm-hmm. Look, this whole last week they swore in Jennifer McClellan from the 4th District of Virginia, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're making it such a big deal. She is the first black congresswoman to represent Virginia. Don't get me wrong, like, I can't.
Look, I appreciate the whole glass ceiling thing, but you know what?
How many times can you break the glass ceiling?
Your color has absolutely nothing to do with a glass ceiling. I'm sorry.
Well, look. considering the 4th district is overwhelmingly 75 to 80% quote unquote so-called black or African American. I mean, come on, really?
It's not a shock.
Right, but here's the other piece of that too, right? She ran against another quote unquote so-called black man, Republican, that ran against her. She got 74% of the vote. She got 74% of the vote. Yeah, but anyway, that's
4th district, Virginia. It's not a shock.
No, I know. But they made a parade out of her going across the thing. Like, oh my God, I can't believe. Oh my God, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Wasn't it Corinne Jean-Pierre that said, "You have standing in front of you 3 black women who have broken the barriers"? What barriers, bitch? It's 2023. We're crying out loud. It ain't 1963. Grow up.
Right, and even in 63, let's keep that shit, let's keep all that shit real, right? We black women, quote unquote, since we're going to stay in a crayon box a minute, black women, right? The great mathematicians of NASA got Apollo 11 to the fucking moon. Or you glass ceiling, you can't beat that ceiling.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, in a time, right? Look, in a
those
time,
those ladies are still unsurpassable as far as intelligence, as far as the work that they did, not only getting us to the moon but getting us back.
Yeah, but we're breaking the color glass ceiling, and it's like, great. Yeah. I mean, look. I get the virtue signal, right? I get it because people are stuck on the virtue of their skin tones, right? But really, here, elected to Congress, really in an area that is almost a shoe-in for any Democrat or for any Democrat, especially if they're of darker skin. Come on.
Okay. You know, I just have to say it.
I know
you could probably put a burnt hot dog in office with a Democrat behind their name, and they'd be voted into office in that district. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, because look, people vote straight ticket in that area. It's like down here for Clyburn's district. People vote straight ticket.
Yeah.
They don't care who you are or what color you are, as long as you have a D or an R behind your name.
R, run away. D, stay home. There you go.
Exactly.
Right? But yeah, so they made a big deal out of that. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like we're moving on from that. But anyways, not to take away from her, right? Congratulations for winning your election. Congratulations for winning your election. Hopefully, and I'd love if Regina happens to come in here. She actually lives in the 4th district, if I remember correctly. Right? I'd love to have her come on and real quick 5 minutes and, you know, tell us about this candidate, what should we expect out of her, what she campaigned on, et cetera, et cetera. So if she does, moderators, if she does come into Regina comes into the chat, you know, kind of let her know that I want to talk to her online here. I'll have her call in and talk about the candidate that was just elected. So, I appreciate.
That would be an interesting take, because she's very familiar with all of these candidates.
All right. So it's been otherwise. It's been last week was a hell of a week, right? We had Congress say, no, DC, I'm sorry. You're not passing these reformed criminal codes to lower the offenses, you know, certain sentences for certain offenses in our district. That's a no. And here's the crazy part, right? Here's the crazy part. Mayor Bowser said, no, this should not go. She vetoed it. It. And the council 12-1 voted her down. They overturned her veto. I'm like, wow. Are you kidding me right now? Look. they're starting a little infighting again, right? You can see, right? Mayor Bowser came to her senses, like, no, we can't. We've done some quote unquote woke ass shit, but lowering the offenses for crimes like carjacking, I'm sorry, that's hurting quote unquote so-called black and brown people, right? Like, this is who we're going to be hurting because they're the ones getting carjacked.
It's not just that, but she's coming up for re-election pretty soon, isn't she?
Yeah, yes, she is. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily coming to her senses. It's doing what's politically expedient, which right now amounts to the same thing.
Yeah, amounts to the same thing. You're right. But yeah, and then now Congress is like, no, this is definitely not passing. I'm sorry. Nope. So Congress, and here's what's crazy. Congress, 81-14.
Yeah.
Said the Senate said nah, and Biden said he's gonna sign it. He's signing right off on it, like shoot. But the old delegate from DC, she's like, I'm going to try to talk Biden into not signing it. What? What? Wait.
Yeah, well.
Wait a minute. Wait. So you got some Democrats tough on crime. You got some Democrats that aren't tough on crime. You got a delegate. Here's the thing, right? I think I very much think you're right about the political expediency of Muriel Bowser, right? But for the delegate from D.C. to sit here and want to harm her constituents by letting carjackers back on the street after 2 years. Well, guess what? Guess what's going to end up happening, right? Here's the messed up part, because you can't have guns in D.C.
Exactly.
So what's going to happen when these senseless people come out, they shoot somebody, you get 2 years for carjacking, they come back and jack some more people, kill, you know what I'm saying? Beat somebody else up.
Somebody ends up dying, yeah. Well, and I have to look at it from her point of view as well. For her, it is also political expediency.
But to go the opposite way?
Just in the opposite direction. Yeah, just in the opposite direction. She knows damn good and well that if she votes against these people who are going to jail for carjacking, that's my cousin. He can't be in prison. He can't be in jail.
That's Pookie. Yeah, Pookie. Yeah, how you let Pookie go to jail?
You put Pookie in jail. You put TT in jail. Mm-hmm. You can't be doing that.
Right. You're right, though. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I can't let them put. Pookie can be a very, he did something very bad. We should only punish him lightly the first time. I mean, look, isn't that what they did in St. Louis? And that guy came back and killed somebody.
But he's such a good child. He's a child of God. He is such a good young man. He was always so mannerly to me. Yeah.
For real.
That's what he said when he carjacked your ass, right?
Come on now. Yeah, 81-14. The Senate voted to pass.
And one responding present. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to dive into these votes real quick, right? So everybody gets a let's see, there we go. Record vote number. Let's see what we got here. Let's see who voted no. Ooh. All the Democrats voted no. Booker, Cardin, Duckworth, Durbin, Hirono.
Not shocked.
Markey, Merkley, Murphy, Reed, Sanders, Van Hollen, Warren, Welch, and Whitehouse. Warnock voted present. Carper, Feinstein, Fetterman, and Risch did not vote. Well, obviously Feinstein and Fetterman are in the hospital, so they can't vote. But that's interesting.
What? Warnock, Fetterman can't vote, but he can put forth legislation? Really?
Well, that's what he has a legislative analyst for. I mean, he could do that. It could already be in the bin.
He's not supposed to be putting his name on anything if he's in the hospital. Sorry.
I guess, hey, he's taking his job too, then limit. Since I can't be on the floor, I'm going to serve my people from my bed. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Take it to the limit.
That's right.
One more time.
Yeah, he ain't taking it to the limit. That's for sure. That's for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Before we get into the juicy though, what we got HR 502, which was to amend Title 38 in the United States Code to ensure that the Secretary of Veteran Affairs repays members of the armed forces for certain contributions made by such members towards an post 9/11 education assistance. So,
Nice.
So those of you that don't know, there was a resolution passed just after 9/11 for the influx of people that went in, and these benefits went towards the Montgomery GI Bill, right? Mm-hmm. And they chose to utilize the post 9/11, right? Which was a whole different segment, and I don't want to. Yeah. And we can break it down, but that's some long division right now, right? Just basically, it's two different funds: Montgomery GI Bill, and then it has another fund interest underneath that's post 9/11 GI Bill benefits, but they had to pay into those, and those people that took advantage of those and paid into those, they're actually getting their money back. Basically, is what it says in a nutshell. It's giving them their money back. So because I know
that Brian falls under the Montgomery GI. I think the Montgomery GI, he went in 83, and Connor falls under post 9/11.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if Connor has put in any money in towards that or what have you, like as far as books, things like that, then he's due a reimbursement if this passes. It should pass. It passed the House. I don't see a problem with passing the Senate. I don't know either. But then again, political expediency, like you say, it flows in both directions.
Yeah, it does.
Last week too, the House did pass Senate Bill 619 to direct the ODNI to declassify COVID-19 origins. 419 yays and no nays. Look. I'm gonna call. You want to call a spade a spade? I'm gonna call a spade a spade. This is campaign fodder.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
all of them, they're all going to use it to spin it.
Up, y'all.
Yep, they're going to use this to spin it. The only people I think are really genuine in this situation are Republicans. And I don't think some of them are actually genuine, but I know that the Democrats are disingenuous all the way around with it, because they're going to say, hey, look, this was Trump's presidency and this happened, and that's what they're going to watch. Watch what I'll tell you. Once they start ramping up for 2024, right, and hear about August, September, right, when they start gearing up for the run in 2024, right, they're going to start talking about, look, Donald Trump, this happened on his watch. He didn't do all this, and he's xenophobic, and he can't come back in office because this, that, and the third, and watch. Go ahead, honey.
Well, if you look at what's happening right now with the banking industry and with inflation and everything else, they're already blaming that on Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we were handed a mess when we got into office. Yeah, bullshit. 2 years later, you're going to say that? Lie through your teeth?
I'm sorry. It was your crew that told us the Kung flu was not the thing. It was very dangerous. It was the Kung flu was killing a lot of people. We're right. It was the Kung flu. It was flu, like this virus thing. Yeah, no, whatever. Let's call a spade a spade. This Kung flu was a bad flu. That's it. Game over. But you know what's interesting, though? And I got to put this story out there. I got to put this out there, and I got authorization to do this, right?
Okay.
Now you remember my friend Jen, right? Remember she almost died on us, right?
Yeah.
Back in November, right? And was it November? No, October. So back there.
It was right around Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So. You know, she's okay. She's having issues, has speech issues, things like that, you know, from, basically dying. She died twice, right? On the way to the hospital, right? And, she's got to do all these different therapies, things like that, whatever, speech therapy especially, right? Because of the potential brain damage, things like that from no air. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. She has been waiting. Check this out. She has been waiting for a bill from the hospital for her stay since then. Usually, she said all the other bills have been coming. All of them have been coming.
Yeah, usually they get that out within the first 3 weeks, roughly. Yeah.
Right. Check this out. She decided to call the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. And she talked to the registrar, and then she talked to the finance department, right? And her bill for her complete stay, right? Check this out: $361,000.
Wow.
But remember, she was vented, right? Yeah, remember she was
right.
vented.
I forgot about that.
Right.
She was in ICU. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. CICU for almost 8 days.
Yeah.
Right. Total hospital stay was 17 days. Right. But listen at this. That $360,000 was forgiven. The hospital got money from the CARES Act.
Oh my God.
The hospital got the money from the CARES Act. Now, they didn't declare her a COVID patient, but
because she was ventilated.
Yep, because she was ventilated. Yes, that hospital got money from the federal government, all $360,000. They sent her the bill. It's a zero. She sent me a picture of it. $0 for her stay.
Wow.
$365,000 and then minus. Done. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That's insane.
I'm like, well, you know what? You can say thank you, Joe Byron. but really, let's keep it real. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the one that signed the CARES Act into law.
Yes.
Right?
He was. Yeah.
And I know these people wanted to try to flip it around and finagle it, but and this is, I know this is anecdotal for a lot of people, but I mean, Donald Trump saved this woman literally over $250,000 hospital bill.
Yeah. God, that's a lot of money. And I'm sitting here thinking, I know that when I was in the hospital, and this was 21 years ago, 9 days in the in the cardiac ICU, and it was $113,000 at that point. But I was not ventilated or anything. Yeah. Insurance only covers so much.
Yeah. So that's a blessing from the Creator. Him or herself. Yeah. So I just look.
If I were Jen, I'd be like, oh Lord, have mercy, thank you.
Right.
I'd be having a big old party at that point.
I told her, I said, you need to go on up to that hospital up there and hug every single nurse that saved your life, that kept you alive, the doctors that kept you alive.
I'm a big old present. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, thank you, Ms. Moderator, for sending me the question. Because obviously y'all know I can't see the chat the way I have my stuff set up. I cannot see the chat on the Spreaker, so I have a moderator sending me stuff. So, Miss Gina, I am glad you have made it. Just real quick, something to for you to opine on. And I'll probably have you call in after the break, real quick, and to talk about it. But the question is, who is Jennifer McClellan, the gal that was just elected in the 4th District out of Richmond to Congress? So that's the question. So after the break, I'd love for you to call in and kind of, give us a little background on her, if you have a little bit on her, et cetera, et cetera. So I know your ears on the ground up that way. So, get ready to do the things after the break, call in during the break, and we'll get you we'll slide you in. We'll slide you in right after the break is over. So I greatly appreciate it, Miss Gina. So let's get to a couple more of these real quick here before we actually ride into break. The Senate also, the House also passed, removing the extraneous loopholes ensuring every Veteran Emergency Act, which is H.R. 815, which is to amend Title 38. It was amending Title 38 all of a sudden, to make certain improvements related to the eligibility of veterans to receive reimbursement for emergency treatment furnished through the Veterans Community Care Program.
Nice.
The Wounded Warrior Access Act, H.R. 1226, is to amend Title 38, here we go again, to allow for electronic request of certain records. And by a 2/3 vote, 422 yeas and no nays on that bill passing. Now, the other two bills were passed by unanimous consent because they suspended the rules. So that's that. Yeah. I think we went over that last time. We talked about the COVID. Understanding cybersecurity of Mobile Networks Act, H.R. 1123, is to direct the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Communications and Information to submit to Congress a report examining the cybersecurity of mobile service networks by a 2/3 vote, 393 to 22 nays on that. So we got 5 minutes left. We got 5 minutes left before the break. So I want to hit one more thing before we hit the big thing after the break, after we talk to Miss Gina. There was a very interesting nomination that came across.
I see that.
Felix Sanchez from the District of Columbia to be a member of the board of directors of the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. Now, I don't know how many people actually heard what I just said, and I've kind of mentioned it before on this show. I've mentioned it a little bit here and there, but I want to read this again so everybody understands this fully. Right, this Felix Sanchez guy. He's been nominated to be a member of the board of directors of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So, what does CPB do? Well,
Corporation for Public Broadcasting, isn't that the same as NPR?
Kind of, sort of, but that NPR falls under VOA. But we'll get we'll kind of get into that, right? Here's what's interesting, right? CPB is a private nonprofit but publicly funded, right? You see that conundrum already, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a private nonprofit, but it's publicly funded to promote and help support public broadcasting. Now, this was signed into law by the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967. This agency was created. So this government entity created a private entity to fund it with public money, our money, let's call it what it is, our money, to promote public broadcasting. Lyndon Baines Johnson is the brainchild behind this. Right? Now, let's think about this a minute, right? What was happening, right, in 1967? What else was happening in 1967?
Vietnam.
So they had to spin, right? They had to spin the media, right? Because remember, the CBP funds public broadcasting like PBS, right? Now we'll start talking about the Gannett, right? Gannett.
Yep.
What's the other big
Gannett,
one?
McClatchy.
Viacom,
right? Comcast,
right?
There's a couple of others. There's like 5 or 6 different large broadcasting corporations.
Now, watch this. Operation Mockingbird. Sinclair.
Okay.
Sinclair is the other big one.
Yeah,
right?
Sinclair. You're right.
So if you look at if y'all remember Operation Mockingbird was basically, right, what was it? All the news channels were saying exactly the same thing. That is still happening today. Now, if we go back and we look at today, look at the stories that are coming out between the CNNs, the MSNBCs, even the Foxes. They all say the same thing. They just twist the words a little bit. Really think about that a minute. And mind you, the CPB, remember, they give grants. They give grants for public broadcasting. I want y'all to really think about that a minute. I really want y'all to think about that.
I am looking into who he actually is.
Who's who?
Felix Sanchez.
Oh, good old Felix. Oh.
Okay, he was the National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts chair.
Mm-hmm. Now, hold that a second. Hold that a second. Now, what is that organization connected to?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
No.
It would have to be
a government entity.
the U.S. Foundation for the Arts.
Here's the question: who gives out the Gershwin Award? Who gives out the Gershwin Award? Oh, come on!
I don't know.
Who gives out the Gershwin Award? That. You don't? Library of Congress.
Okay.
Library of Congress is connected to Smithsonian. Right? Come on down through here now.
Wait a minute, because I'm
African American Museum. Right? Then the Hispanic American Museum, which is literally just right down the street from the African American Museum. Right? It's all connected. And CPB is connected to all that. So remember when the big deal was for all that money for the JFK Center?
You're really going to love this.
The JFK Center is the hub for all of these things, including the Smithsonian. But go ahead.
Okay. He is an attorney who served as legislative assistant to Senator Lloyd Bentsen of Texas, Democrat, of course. Worked on several Democratic presidential campaigns and served in government relation posts as the American Gas such as the American Gas Association and Methanol Institute before co-founding the National Hispanic for the Arts in 1997. Arts Foundation. He also served as a commentator for CNN and as CEO of his own public relations firm, Terracom, while a senior advisor to Ward Circle Strategies. This guy's rather interesting. Yeah, he's been a player for a long time.
Now, let's watch the omnibus budget and how much money goes to the JFK Center. Right?
Yeah.
Listen, because remember, when you don't see in these appropriation bills money that goes to the Smithsonian or the Hispanic American Museum or the African American Museum, it all goes to the JFK Museum to be distributed. Let's see how big that budget's going to be now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And let's look
now my question is, because Biden just put forth his budget proposal, how big is it now? Right.
And he hasn't posted that yet on whitehouse.gov. So I'm curious to see what that actually looks like. So we have the government again, right? Right?
Yeah.
When we break down his history, it's his story, right? Now that we took y'all down through half of that. Now let's add this CRT nonsense to this.
Oh God, yes, because it's all in there.
Yeah.
It's all in there.
But again, the federal government has been controlling media since 1967.
Yeah.
Let's keep that on point. Right? You can't get this grant money unless you say this, do this, and go down through here.
Well, they've got him for a while, so it's you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours is basically how this works.
Okay, actually, you're actually right. I stand corrected. I'm looking through all the affiliates that are underneath CPB, right? NPR did go over to CPB because they were under VOA. They were
Yep.
under VOA, right? Voice of America. So they are PBS, Public American Media, NPR, PRX, AAPRX, again, right? African American Public Radio, NV1, NETA, right? And World. So that's what I'm saying. And if you listen to all of those, especially, they all say the same shit.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at it, the thing is NPR, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, I know that when we watch our local CPB channels, here it's ETV, SCTV. The Georgia Public Broadcasting, it's all part of the same thing.
Yep.
And this is where you get your shows like Sesame Street and River Dance and all the different concerts and everything else that they fundraise for throughout the year. So this guy's now going to be a member of the board of directors. It's interesting seeing where he came from as far as working out of Democrat offices in Texas. Yeah.
Check this out. Here's what's interesting. Watch this. I just went over, right, and I looked at their journalism portion, right, on COVID-19. Yeah. Check this out. No red states are recognized on that page. No red states.
No.
Zero. No, not a single one.
Nope.
I find that to be quite interesting. I wonder what. Now, I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, but I'm saying,
yeah,
something smells in Denmark very rotten too.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to do this this break thing. So y'all know what to do. If you happen to get a chance, Miss Gina, if you wouldn't mind again coming up to the stage here after the break, or just jump on during the break, and then we'll bring you in soon thereof after the break is over. I would love to again, right, get your explanation of the young lady that is what am I trying to say? I've lost my mind.
I think we all have at this point. After this week, yeah.
You think so? Okay, I guess I'll leave you out to it. But anyway, Miss Gina, if you wouldn't mind, coming up, call in during the break, and then we'll usher you right on in here, and we will get your opinion on Miss Jennifer. So y'all sit back, relax for a hot minute, and get your cheese, wine, and cracker. Do the things, and we will be back here on Southern Liberty in 6.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks finished mixed as investors assess U.S. and international regulators' actions to contain the potential damage from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Investors are hopeful that struggles in the banking industry will prompt less aggressive interest rate hikes from the Fed when they gather for their upcoming March meeting. The Dow falling 91 points, the Nasdaq up 50, S&P 500 down 6. And shares of BuzzFeed are dropping in the extended session after the media company company reported a revenue forecast that fell short of expectations and said that the majority of its cash was held at Silicon Valley Bank. While shares of United Airlines are declining after hours after the airline surprised investors with an outlook for a loss in its first quarter due to lower than expected demand in January and February and continued high fuel prices. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Starting March 13th from the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Dana Perino. Join me for Season 3 of my limited-time podcast, Everything Will Be Okay, based on my best-selling book of the same name. Make sure you subscribe to this series wherever you download podcasts and leave a rating and review.
It gets the green light. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Biden administration gives the okay to an oil drilling project in Alaska's North Slope.
The Department of the Interior says drill pads for the project will be reduced by 40%, and the oil company ConocoPhillips will relinquish rights to 68,000 acres of existing leases. It also says the White House is considering limiting or indefinitely blocking drilling for nearly 16 million acres in Alaska and the Arctic Ocean. Many climate activists have raised concerns about the Willow Project, calling it bad for the environment and the fight against climate change. A bipartisan delegation of Alaskan leaders has said the project is great for jobs, taxes, and helps America become more energy independent.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. This morning, the president tried to calm fears after the failure of two big banks over the past several days, saying depositors will recoup their money from the fees the banks pay into the Deposit Insurance Fund. A late winter storm edging into the mid-Atlantic and Northeast with strong winds, heavy rain, and snow expected. New York Governor Kathy Hochul declaring a state of emergency for several counties.
This is how we can amplify the message that this is serious, but also allows us to deploy resources and take extraordinary measures to protect the safety of our residents.
New Jersey has also declared a state of emergency for some areas. Forecasters say up to 2 feet of snow is expected in some higher elevations. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has been released from the hospital after the treatment for a concussion. McConnell's office says his doctors also discovered he also suffered a minor rib fracture. McConnell tripped and fell at a Washington, D.C. hotel last week. New York Yankees all-star and Gold Glove first baseman in the 1960s, Joe Pepitone, who was known for his flamboyant personality, hairpieces, and penchant for nightlife, has died. He was 82. America is listening to Fox News.
How do I address an employee who smells bad all the time?
Talk to Bambi.
One of our employees just reported sexual harassment.
Talk to Bambi. HR managers can cost $80,000 a year, but with Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated HR manager starting at just $99 per month. Policies, onboarding, terminations, training, feedback, coaching, and more. Talk to Bambi by phone, email, and real-time chat. Visit Bambi.com and type Fox Brief on your smart speaker when you sign up. Spelled BAMBEE.com, Fox Brief Smart Speaker.
Israeli raids against Palestinian militants in the West Bank continue.
Multiple arrests were made overnight in the city of Nablus, and weapons were seized. Over the weekend, 3 Palestinians were killed and 1 arrested after they opened fire on an Israeli checkpoint. Today, Islamic Jihad, the second largest faction inside Gaza, test-fired rockets into the sea. The escalations come less than 10 days before the Muslim holy month of Ramadan begins. The holiday has historically seen an increase in violence. In Jerusalem, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Some Michigan lawmakers pushing for tougher gun control laws.
Democrats in Michigan, who now have complete control of both the governor's office and the legislature, say that nothing is off the table on guns as they push an 11-bill gun safety package this week after 2 recent deadly mass shootings, including one at Michigan State University last month. State Republicans argue that current gun laws need to be better enforced, not altered, pointing to the suspect in the MSU shooting who had a felony charge dropped against him in 2019 that would have sent him to prison, barred him from owning a firearm, and likely prevented that mass shooting. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Virginia's largest school system is removing a test question given to a college-level social studies class that equated liberals and conservatives with specific racial and gender demographics. The question given to students on an AP government class at Fairfax County Public Schools online campus. The multiple-choice question asked students to accurately identify liberals and conservatives. The potential answers for liberals included young white males and middle-aged urban lesbian. The potential answers for conservatives Conservatives included Southern male migrant worker and Catholic Midwestern middle-aged male. Critics say the question was indicative of educators' liberal bias. I'm Lee Silasera. This is Fox News.
Do you want to know what's trending now? You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. No payments and no interest for 6 months. This is a big deal. NetSuite by Oracle has never made an offer like this in its 22 years as the leading cloud financial system. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. In fact, almost 90% of finance leaders agree that NetSuite helps them reduce manual data entry time. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox. netsuite.com/Fox.
Hey, welcome back, Southern Liberty. We in the building. Appreciate y'all hanging out for the first half. Make sure if you are not part of the Southern Liberty family on the Patreon, make sure you do that. You know, I always post the stuff that you don't see just to yet within a couple of days. I get that stuff, but I also post everything that's going to be on the show, so you can be looked up and informed yourself before the show starts. I always post that on the Patreon also within due time, obviously. Make sure, you are subscribed to the show, Southern Liberty, right? Make sure you subscribe to that, Chasing Life, Liberty, and Monarchy, and the Experience Today feed. Just remember, those of you that the Experience Today will still broadcast across the Southern Liberty feed, so don't forget that. But Chasing Life, Liberty, and Monarchy is going to be on its own feed on Sunday at 8 p.m. as always. That's going to be there. It's going to stay there on its own thing. So make sure you're locked in on that one on the Sunday show, for show, or as Snoop Dogg would say, faux cheesy, faux cheesy. But I appreciate y'all. Love y'all 100%. We got Miss Gina. She done pulled up. She done pulled up in here on it. She done pulled up. I appreciate her taking time out of her evening real quick to talk about Miss Jennifer McClellan that was elected out of Richmond. There, Miss Gina, how you doing, girl? What's going down? Give us the skinny.
I'm doing good until you touch that nerve.
Do you have tea?
Oh yes.
Oh, see. Gina's got tea. It's time to pull up.
Let me pull my chair up and put my seatbelt on. Let's go, y'all.
Let's go. Let's get on with it. So what's up? What are we going to expect in Congress out of Jennifer McClellan, Miss Gina? Come on through.
Going along with her best friends, Mark Warner and Tim Kaine.
Oh, okay. Well.
We already know what Tim Kaine's all about.
Yep, Mark Warner too. She gonna be with those two. Those are her best buds, because those are people that kind of sort of was helping her while she was here in Richmond. And Don McKeechin also was helping her. Oh yeah.
For real? Wait. Skirt. I haven't heard that name in a while. Wait.
Yeah, no joke.
Oh, she was help. Oh
yeah, Don McKeechin helped her out too. But he's dead now. But see, what they did was they kept him around while he was ill, and they knew that he was gonna die. But they had him running that election that was basically, in my opinion, stolen from us here in Virginia. That's wrong. I'm one of those people that believe that if you're sick and you die, you get the hell out.
Yeah. I would agree.
But he didn't. He stayed in there. He died in office and stuff like that. And then they had the special election to have her ass thrown in there.
Well, that puts a little bit of a different spin on it, don't it?
For real. Didn't she ran for governor too, didn't she? She ran for governor, didn't she?
No. She was busy trying to snake her way through. She didn't. I don't think she tried to go for governor, but she may have, and I probably missed it.
So I got to ask you, the skinny. What was, in your opinion, was Leon Benjamin the better candidate?
Believe it or not, he wasn't, and that's the suck part. Because a lot of people don't know this. This is not a snag about Richmond. We have our pastors and stuff here. Some of them are, I should say, most. No, hold up. Let me just come right out and say it. All of them are criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our pastors here are criminals, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Yep.
Yep, because he's not the only pastor person here in Richmond that got caught up in criminal activity.
Well, we are truly spilling some tea now.
Yeah, because we had one pastor. He was our governor before Northam got in there. That guy, I forgot his name. He got a black church in Richmond and stuff like that. And him and his son was basically ripping people off. And they doing little business dealings behind things.
Oh, the one before Northam was the one that was charged with wasn't it bribery or something?
Oh yes.
I can't remember his name to save my life.
Yeah, I forgot his name too. Yeah.
He was a Clinton devotee.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot his name because his
was it McAllister or something like that? Huh. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I forgot his daggone name.
I am busy looking it up.
Yeah, because I know the face. I know his face because I used to see his face on TV all the time. Because he was doing governor work, and then he was also pastoring in his church also, because he was kind of sort of trying to help his son, sort of, kind of.
McAuliffe. Terry McAuliffe.
Yep, Terry McAuliffe. Yep. Good.
And before him was Robert McDonnell.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm talking about the. Hold up, I think I'm talking about the mayor. Yeah, I think I'm talking.
Oh, the mayor of Richmond. Okay.
I think I got it mixed up. I think I'm thinking about the mayor. We had a mayor here that was and stuff like that, and oh yeah, and Jennifer McCollum was the best buzz with him too. So that gives you an idea of her history and background.
So.
And, yeah, that's right. Leonardo Young too. She was best buzz with Leonardo too.
Well, you got LeVar Stoney right now.
I mean, hold up. Got LeVar. No, Doug Wilder. Doug Wilder was her best friend. Sorry about that. I'll get my marriage and stuff.
It's okay. It's okay. We got you on the spot here.
Yeah, it was Doug Wilder. Doug Wilder kind of sort of was helping her along in the beginning because he knew her when she was younger.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and the thing is that's one of those things that, yeah, it tends to happen in what everybody considers small town, but Richmond is not exactly a small town. It's a good-sized city.
Oh yeah. So that kind of sort of gives you an idea about Jennifer McCullough. And plus, what makes it also irritating is that she was I guess she was my district person.
Oh, in the House of Delegates or the Senate?
Yeah.
Mm.
And I called her office a couple of times, and she wasn't there, and plus she wasn't answering the thing. But I had nice, lovely, long conversations with the secretary.
Wow.
Stuff like that. So she never, answers my phone calls, and she don't apparently read emails like normal folks do.
Wow. So evidently she's not going to be real responsive to the people in her district, right?
Oh, no. Nope.
Wow. Well, no.
Unless she gets a really good staff and they're responsive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she'd have to have a staff to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, hey.
Pretty much. Huh?
Pretty much what?
Oh, I was going to say pretty much she kind of sort of did all this number, and she kind of sort of, leaving our district here kind of sort of in a mess and stuff like that.
Well, that's not good.
No, that's not good at all. That's not good at all.
But in her mind, she's thinking that she's improving the area, but they don't realize that we're in a flood zone. And you kind of sort of don't come in. You don't try to come into a flood zone and build apartments in flood zones and try to pave the roads in the flood zone.
We got to maximize space, though. We got to times are hard out here. Times is hard out here for a pimp, and we got to try to we got to try to have affordable housing and things like that out here for them pimpettes out here. You know what I'm saying? So if we got to build in the floodplain, we got to build in the floodplain. I mean, we got to lower them prices, right?
Oh, I know, but see, get this, the snag part about that is most of the people that's going to be getting apartments here ain't going to be what you think. It's going to be the students.
Yeah.
The college
The pre-pimps. It's the pre-pimps.
The pre-pimps. And see, we noticed that. We noticed that as well when they built all the apartments up out off of 278 in Hardyville. They built up a bunch of apartments. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be, affordable housing. Well, it's mainly college students from USCB and from Coastal. Yeah. Or not Coastal, but Technical.
Right.
Plus you have, there's a Savannah Tech branch not even 15 minutes from here on I-95 out in Savannah. So you've got a lot of college students in this area.
Yep.
And that's mainly what's filling up the apartment buildings back there now.
Oh yeah, and the other crazy part. is that I don't have that much parking over in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the I guess the outside of Parker people going around putting tickets and boots on people's cars.
Oh.
Yes, that's how the city of Richmond is making their money now, since they tore down all the statues and stuff like that. So they can't make money through the historical
districts. Yeah.
So they now making the parking tickets.
Well, you can't make a lot of money off of tourism when you take out your most popular tourism attraction, which is Monument Avenue. And if there's no monuments on Monument Avenue, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So and no parking tickets. And come to find out, I talked to a friend of mine. Apparently, the county over in Henrico, they're supposed to be building a coliseum or a theater place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking to myself, that's not going to go well.
Right.
Probably not.
Because because a lot of people don't realize the city of Richmond, they lose money. They don't hold on to money. They lose it. It goes missing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yes, and then they got to try to come up with other fantastical ways of doing stuff because we got this mayor and he's an idiot.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, Miss Regina, this is interesting. I mean, I didn't know who she was, and
okay.
to get that little bit of background is fascinating.
Yep.
Well, Miss Gina, I appreciate it. We'll definitely be on the lookout on for what's going to be happening with this child coming up in the Congress. Thank you, ma'am. I greatly appreciate you.
Okay. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too, Miss Gina. We got We got a couple more things to hit real quick, and then we gotta roll everybody up out of here like a burrito. No, not like Jill Biden. We're not gonna do the burrito thing like Jill Biden. The people, the Hispanic people are like tacos, the breakfast burrito. It's like, no, bitch, no, you fucked that up. You fucked that up.
Yeah,
the bogadas.
Oh God.
I'm going to get me a breakfast burrito from the Bogota, from the plethora of Hispanic people.
I have to wonder if she says Pedro, like Pedro.
No, Perro.
Perro. She calling him a dog now. Okay.
She said Padre.
She said Padre. Oh my God! Really?
I'm sorry, I went there.
Oh God!
Si Padre Perro, digo your breakfast burritos hecho Bogota was excellent. Bitch, what?
There is not anyone of Hispanic descent looking at that lady and taking her absolutely anything as other than a joke. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to go there. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
So,
yeah, there's a brief question in the chat. Dog, yeah. Perro, Perro. Perro is dog in Spanish.
In Espanol. Espanol, perro, dog,
perro.
España.
Perro.
Yes, perro. Yes. It's not Pedro, it's perro. Si se puede.
Si se puede. Oh my God. Well, let her go back to her bodega and
No, you told her to go to Bogota. She that's a death wish. You can't send her to Bogota.
Bodega is what she calls them.
Hey, let's finish this thing up and get these people out of here. So, the Republican-led House is actually taking the administrative state seriously.
Finally.
The Committee on the Judiciary, particularly the Subcommittee on the Administrative State Regulatory Reform and Antitrust, they held a hearing called Reining in the Administrative State, Reclaiming Congress's Legislative Power. That's going to be that's going to be an interesting committee to watch, because this particular meeting is supposed to go on literally for the rest of the year. Just this committee is going to be working on this in particular for the rest of the year. So this is going to be very interesting to look into. We get to reel in the administrative state. When are we going to talk about the regulatory state?
Well, and this is part of it. The Committee on the Judiciary Subcommittee on the Administrative State, Regulatory Reform, and Antitrust. The antitrust one is also extremely important.
Yeah, but they say regulatory reform. We're not addressing the regulatory state, right? And again, right? Capitalism needs regulations to stay in its guardrails. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, capitalism is good, but we do have to kind of start sliding away from capitalism, because they're going to add more and more regulation to enrich their pocket and strip out of our pockets every single time, right? And but that's another story for another day. We can debate that anytime people want to feel like debating that, right? But regulation is an expansion of big government. That's just it. That's just regulatory state is bureaucratic big government. That's it.
Yeah.
But we want small government. So how do you fix that with regulation? You can't. You can't fix it. But anyway, I digress. Matt Gaetz, bro, man, listen. One of the best things you've ever done. One of the best things you've ever done in Congress, Mr. Matt Gaetz. Y'all not going to believe this one. Matt Gaetz introduced a House concurrent resolution, right, that directs the president, pursuant of Section 5C of the War Powers Resolution, to remove the United States Armed Forces from Syria.
Yes.
Look, check this out. The resolution failed. 103 yeas, 321 nays. But listen, Matt Gaetz, my friend, you literally have just exposed the progressive warmongering machine. You have literally exposed them by forcing this vote. Now, here's what's look. Look who is. I'm shocked. Democrats even voted. 56 more Democrats voted for this than Republicans did. Yeah, that's the scary part. 56 Democrats voted to pull our troops out of Syria. Right? Look at this. Watch this. Now I'm gonna look up the Democrats, the yes votes on the Democrat side. Right? I'm not gonna read all of them, but the ones of in particular, Cori Bush. Wow. Cori Bush voted. Blumenauer out of Oregon voted on it. Who else of significance is on this? Debbie Dingell.
Not surprised.
Garcia out of Illinois. Al Green.
I am surprised by that one.
Ro Khanna. Jayapal. Who else?
Bonamici.
Yep, Bonamici. Yep.
Oman.
Let's see who else there. Let's see, Velasquez, Vargas Torres
out of California.
Yep,
that's interesting.
Yep. So yeah, but you know what? Let's go find out the Republicans that actually
voted for this.
No, voted against it. That's who we want. We want to look at the people that voted against this thing.
Right. Let me switch my vote over here
because a lot of, and I bet we're gonna see a lot of names like the Crenshaws, the see who else do we have on here? That's notable.
Banks out of Indiana.
Yeah, Banks out of Indiana.
Barr of Kentucky.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, Crenshaw's on here. Crawford from Arkansas is on here. Let's see.
This is...
I mean, there's a lot. I'm not going to go with McCarthy voted against it.
There's a lot. We're not going through all of them. This one surprises me. Buddy Carter out of Georgia.
Yeah, Buddy Carter. Yeah. Yeah.
Buddy, what are you thinking, dude?
Yeah. Buddy Carter. You have all these Republicans.
Clyburn, of course, he voted nay.
Like, you think it for yourself. House Concurrent Resolution 21. We want the people spoke. We want our troops out of Syria, and the rest of them. No, we got to stay in Syria. Why? Why do we got to stay? Because of big bad Assad. Assad is really not the bad guy here. But I digress.
Cruz of Texas. Interesting. Desjardins out of Tennessee. Diaz Balart, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan out of South Carolina. Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Edwards out of North Carolina, not a shock.
Yeah, no votes, no president.
A lot of votes out of Georgia Republicans on this. This is insane.
Yeah, 103 yeas, 321 nays to pull our troops out of Syria. Just remember that, right? And everybody, right? And I can't. If you're on the Patreon, you can go find the strip. If you can remember House Concurrent Resolution 21, you can look that up. Look up the votes through the clerk, right? Because that's what we're looking at, the votes at the clerk on this particular resolution. And I would, if your House rep is on that list, I would ask them why.
Yeah.
I would ask them why did they vote against
pulling our troops out of Syria.
Right. Because here's a funny thing, right? Trump pulled them out of Syria and sent them to Saudi Arabia. And Biden sent them back to Syria.
Yeah.
Biden sent them back to Syria. People didn't catch that. Biden sent them back to Syria before the Afghanistan withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew. He knew. I even said it on here that I talked about your troops are going back to Syria, right before the withdrawal from Afghanistan, because we know how volatile that region is going to get. And then when we pulled our troops out of Saudi Arabia, right, what happens? Afghanistan collapses, and then our relations with Saudi Arabia collapses because now they're back shaking hands with Iran. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Some of these names are really surprising. James out of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That's John James.
No. John James, no. No, not in the House. No, John James ran for Senate.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Yeah.
But still, a Republican out of Michigan? Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just... Yeah, Krishnamurthy, I knew he'd vote against it. LaHood in Illinois voted against it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. But again, right, if your House rep is on this list of 320 people that voted no not to pull our troops out of Syria, I would harass them. I would harass them. It's House Concurrent Resolution 21. If you're on the Patreon, it's in tonight's show notes. That is already posted on the Patreon. You can find it, click on it. I got the roll call vote sitting there. You can click on the roll call vote. Boom, it's going to be right there so you can see it. I would ask them why. Ask them why.
Even Kevin McCarthy.
Mm-hmm. The speaker voted for it. Yeah.
McHenry out of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I'm going through this list, and my jaw is literally on the floor.
Look, Nebraska, all three of Nebraska's House reps voted no on it.
Yeah, it looks like most of North Carolina did. Quite a few of South Carolina. Of course, you knew that Jim Clyburn was going to vote against it. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah. Yep, and Oregon was divided, 3-3.
Yeah.
3 yeas, 3 nays.
Quite a bit of Georgia voted against this too. I am surprised as hell about that.
But these are the people, right? These are the people, right? When y'all hear me talk about right? The progressive war machine, right? The progressives on the left that are just flat, they live with those progressives, and the progressives on the right that are actually neocons, right?
Yep.
These people are exposed on here. They cannot give you any better excuse than, well, I was following an agenda. I was following whatever, X amount of people wanted. Because I guarantee you all the American people in these people's districts that voted no do not want our troops overseas, period. I don't care what our foreign affairs interest is in this place. We do not need to risk men and women in uniform when we're not in an active war with anybody over some bullshit. These people need to come home.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this. Joe Wilson of South Carolina. Really?
Yep, Joe Wilson. Yeah, I've seen that.
Look, his district is not that far from mine. I think he's up in Hampton now. Or not in Hampton, but he got cut off. We were part of his district, and then Clyburn took it over. I think he's part of Beaufort or something now. But a lot of his people are military.
Yep.
What the hell? Timmins? Same thing.
Yeah, is it Wilson like he's like that cut off? He's at that cut off right there, that Bamberg, that area kind of going west of Orangeburg, kind of like out that way.
Yeah, I think he is now. He did have all the way down into Jasper County.
He's in Aiken too, right? He would be Aiken then too, right?
I think he is Aiken, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not positive of that. Don't quote me, but I think he is further north now, which means that would push him into
Columbia.
It would push him. I don't think it goes far enough west to go into or far enough north to go into Columbia, but I think it goes far enough west to go into Aiken and Augusta.
I'm curious. Let me look. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
This is off GPs, y'all. So I'm just, and then we gotta go. Here we go. Let's see. He is. Yeah, he goes out to Aiken. He's Aiken and Edgefield. He goes.
Okay.
He actually goes around Columbia. His district goes around Columbia, so he touches Elgin. And then comes all the way back around. Fort Jackson. He's part of Fort Jackson.
He's got Fort Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah. Because Fort Jackson's on the south side of the city.
Yep. Sure is. So, yeah, he's got military personnel in his district.
Yes, he does. Well, it's not just that, but you look at how heavily populated this area is for Army. In particular, Army and Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's not just the base there in Columbia at Fort Stewart. It's also, I'm sorry, it's Fort Jackson, not Fort Stewart. Fort Stewart's down here in the Savannah area.
Right.
But you also look at the Air Force bases and everything else that are scattered throughout this area.
Yeah.
So, that just...
Yeah,
I'm absolutely flabbergasted right now.
And thank you, Miss Moderator, for sending that question. Camp Lejeune is in North Carolina. Parris Island is in South Carolina.
Yeah, Parris Island is in Beaufort County, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Camp Lejeune is in Onslow County, North Carolina.
Yep.
I know because I was born damn near right outside the front gates of Onslow of Camp Lejeune.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's where my granddad was stationed at the time I was born. My mom and dad are from that area. Dad's from Jacksonville, and my mom's from Kinston.
Okay. Gotcha. All right,
I'm an Eastern Carolina girl.
You're East Carolina. East Kakalaki.
Eastern Kakalaki.
All right, y'all. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming through this evening. I know we yacked your jaws off a little bit, but we just had to make sure you go check the House Concurrent Resolution 21.
Yeah.
And if your House rep voted no on this bill, I would ask them why. Why do we need to keep our people overseas? We're not in active war. Remember, come back tomorrow night for the Experience Today with me and Ms. Val. I don't know what we're going to talk about as always. You'll know when I know. So with that, have a good night. And until next time, life, love, liberty, and happiness. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Southern Liberty Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media. Subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.bpmg.us or leave a rating and review on iTunes. To catch all the latest from Roderick, you can follow him on social media at manofjustice007. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.